Okay, we're back on. Sorry about that, guys. I should have thought of that in the first place. The mic on this other phone is dodgy. Felipe Gambarelli. Ciao. Let's turn the sound off that one. Okay, Signalman Tony. All right, so yeah, so as I say, we'll try to keep it as fluid as possible, and I'll try to keep up with the messages as well as I possibly can. So be patient with me. Do not get too angry with me. I'll do my best, as I always do. Okay, so I've bought some of these gloves. They're very thin, hopefully less likely to get caught anywhere. I mean, if I do anything on stuff which could get caught, I'll probably take them off, but these are signal gloves that I can actually operate the phone with. So that's the purpose for these gloves. Okay, so let's make a start. So first things first. Firstly, let me show you around the shop. It's not a big shop. It's really effectively this area here, and I've got a couple of other machines around the room. So I'm just going to take you out of the clamp. Okay, so I've got some blocks over there, some various bits of tools and stuff like that. I've got my drawers there which is full of sort of bits and pieces, sanding equipment, sandpaper, drill bits, and stuff like that. And these are generally just files and miscellaneous tools. That device there, that plastic device, is designed to give you the center of a square or roughly square piece of wood. I'm kind of still getting the hang of it, but it works kind of up to. I mean, if I knew how to use it properly, yeah. I mean, I'm following the instructions, but there you go. And there's the wood turning tools. There's my bandsaw, lathe, briar, tripod. I just rigged this up the other day. Got some more tools down there and a vise and some rotary tools, accessories, and a very high-tech mask which I'm not using because it's too much faff to use it. So I've got a more smaller portable job. Hi Ralph. So this here really belongs to a high-tech full extraction system, but I figured why shouldn't I just do the best that I can. So I've got a couple of adapters, reducers, with a bit of gaffer tape with a reducer, and I've got a shop dry and wet vacuum cleaner there with a long hose, and that just goes in there and it works up to a point. Belt sander, pillar drill, and today I bought a heat gun because I was struggling with bending the stems using a flame, which works. I mean, I've managed, but it's just I'm not really that good at controlling the heat and ensuring that the heat distributes evenly so that I don't wreck the stem in the process. The last pipe that I did, I managed to bubble up the surface, which means I have to resand it after bending it, which is, I can do that and I will do it, it's just a hassle. And I also bought a set of Forstner sets. Well, it's actually a multi kit with 35 drill bits, but the reason why I bought them was to get these Forstner bits so that I can get a flat face on the shank. Well, on this particular block it won't be a shank because we're aiming to do a bridge pipe, but so we'll be getting into that a little bit later. Well, actually it's going to be one of the first things we do actually. So that's just a rough look at my workshop. I mean, it's humble, but it's pretty good considering how long I've been doing this for. And yeah, this room is a multi-purpose room. It's a storage room. I've got a freezer on the other side there as well. This is actually half of the garage. This wall here we put up years ago, and even more storage in there. There's a big chest freezer in there for all that. You know, there's times when my wife has to. Yes, Hector, my wife does the cooking. All right. when my wife does the cooking for the various events which happen around the family. And I do a fair bit of cooking myself. I made a phenomenal pizza yesterday. Phenomenal. I should have taken some pictures of it. Right, let me just have a look at some messages here. Austrian Piper is in. Ralph Cutler is in. Norman Collier. Don't know what that is. Hi Simon and chat. Hi Tim, how you doing? Norman Collier impression. Which one was that? Which bit was that? Oh, sorry, I don't know who Norman Collier is. I'm a Philistine, I'm afraid. Uneducated. I'm not one of the guys who would be going to the university that I spoke about this morning. We leave that for the upper echelons, the upper percentile, the upper fifth. Not fifth, what am I talking about? The upper 5%. Deplorable basket piper is in the house. Right, anyway. Here we have the block. A nice plateau block. Actually, first things first. I need to see what that 70s comedian. Okay, fair enough. Just gonna got a scratch brush and just see what the plateau looks like. So already we can see a really nice, the nodules coming through. Not necessarily showing your age, Dunblane. It's about the type of stuff you were listening to at a young age, at a tender age. As I say, I'm knocking on 50 in a couple of weeks. So you see the difference between the surface there and there. You see how more pronounced the nodules are. So you've got a bit of an outer crust, like a bark kind of thing. Even though this is, I think, underground usually. But there's some kind of crust on the outer side of the block which needs to be... Yeah, that's kind of the question, Sea Smokes, whether or not to sand this and get some nice bird's eye on the top, or to leave it as a plateau. I must be honest that I'm not a huge plateau fan myself. You know, if I was to smoke this pipe myself, I'm not the biggest plateau fan. But I do like the way it looks, I must be honest. Sorry, I need to get a mask on, it's getting quite dusty. So I'm just using one of these basic jobs, does the job. And I must be honest, the one that I'll show you this one. It's a pretty hefty affair, but I don't know if it's my beard or whatever it was, but it just wasn't working out, and to get these on is an absolute nightmare, I must tell you that. Anyway, that's by the by. Maybe in the future, if I'm ever doing something which is like seriously toxic, you know, that would be ideal for that. But 53 in May, Dunblane Piper. Jeff the chef is in the house. He's not in the kitchen, he's in the house. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'll mind my own P's and Q's, shall I? Suffolk, is it your birthday today? The truth is, I could do this later on. Yeah, deplorable. I think I've come to that conclusion myself. I know when I think it was during the Gulf War, they were talking about, soldiers with beards were struggling with things like, when they were worried about toxic poisoning and stuff like that. Anyway, so that's, I think what I might do is later on, just get a really fine bit on the rotary tool on the Dremel and just sort of carve that out. But I think I want to get it drilled, and I don't know. I'm in two minds about whether I should sand it or not. What do you guys think? I mean, the actual grain on it should be pretty good. Just get a bit of a tissue and show you some of the grain. So you can see that's got really nice pattern there. And on the other side, it's pretty much the same. So it should be fantastic on each side. And I just pray that there's no faults in there. You like bird's eye over plateau. To be honest, a well-implemented bird's eye, I would agree. I'm not a huge plateau fan, as I said. But whether I can implement a good smooth top is another matter. The question is like this: if I am going to do that, then if I'm going to make it smooth, I'm not sure there's any point in doing a bridge pipe, because a bridge pipe traditionally, it seems to look best is with a plateau top. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but just simply to make that smooth and drill a hole there and drill a hole there, it's obviously there's going to be sanding on the sides and shaping to give it that curved edge. But yeah, so for a bridge, definitely got to go with a plateau. So I think it makes sense to start off with that. It's a bottle of Volvic. Right. Now, in terms of, I think I'm going to go with plateau for now. And I'm just going to redraw the lines. I find that I use these mops more than the big mops. I've got some big mops down there hanging up. I don't know if you could see them. Right up there, there's a selection of mops there. And I must be honest, maybe it's just because I need more practice on them. But I find these smaller ones just so much easier to use. And because I'm using them so much, I generally use two mops most of the time. So I bought a second arbor to go on the second one, so I can just mount each one straight away without having to change the arbor. Just a bit of time saving. There it is. So they just go straight in now. Magnetic strips, I bought those in Axminster. It's just a fantastic tidying tool. Right, let's get a pencil. No, you can't put it back on C. No, you're absolutely right there. Oldsbo Black. I have seen that tobacco, but I haven't really tried any of their blends. I think one of the, I think Smoke King sells it. I think I have seen it there. Okay, we've got quite a dip here in the block, so I'm going to mark it up on this side rather than that side because I might end up missing something because of that dip there. I'm just going to give it a quick sand to get rid of the old markings. Alright, there'll be a bit of noise while the sand is on. I hope you don't mind. We'll see if this extraction works, as basic as it is. Alright, could you see if the dust was getting in there? I think most of it does get down there. It's not as powerful as a proper extraction system, but it's definitely better than without. Alright, you can see the grain there as well, a bit better now. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at that grain. Beautiful. On the other side, that's got some nice grain. Let's hope we can do something with it. Right. So next, we need to mark up the block. I do have a set of wheels for this tripod. I should have really set it up with it, but it's in the car now, so I'm not going to do that now. Just move you guys over to the side a bit. Grain! Sam, how are you doing? Yeah, that block is from Alexander Breyer, I think. I got three big blocks. The rest are much smaller. There's this one as well, but this is going to have to be a more traditional shape of some kind. I mean, possibly a freehand. Potentially some nice grain in there as well. The quality of the Breyer is not quite as good, at least on the surface. I mean, superficially, this looks great, this piece of Breyer. Shape of it is just all there, everything. Jason Mouton was talking about this. I don't know if you guys caught his video the other day. He was really having a bit of a rant. Jason Mouton was having a go because he didn't name a particular supplier, but I think he was talking about. Well, it doesn't matter who he was talking about. You can all make your own mind up. But he was basically saying that as a small guy setting up, trying to get started in pipe carving, he just feels he gets dumped on all the time. He might order, say, 20 or 30 or 50 briar blocks, and the vast majority of them will be just crap. Excuse my French. They'll just be rubbish. And out of the whole batch, he can literally sometimes get nothing with a exceptional grain. You know, so I don't know. Maybe I just lucked out, or maybe because I was a new customer, he decided to send me something decent. I haven't been to the grinder. Which grinder are you talking about? Do you mean the? It's actually a makeshift grinder. That is a. It's actually a drill which I've attached in a vise. Let me show you, because it's something which I've been struggling with the sanding, and I've been wanting to try and get a proper a motor with a sander. So that's what this is. And that's generally what I do most of my sanding with. I have a bigger, like a 5-inch wheel, which goes on there. So I'll probably take that off once I get into proper sanding. And that's quite good for the bandsaw. Yeah, that's for the hose. That there, yes, that is for the hose. Indeed it is, yeah. I have used it with it before. That's for the vacuum cleaner, yeah. No, this is a straight briar block from scratch. That's nothing drilled. That's what we're going to be doing in a few minutes. Some of the kit blocks are fantastic. You know, I've made some lovely pipes out of blocks, kit blocks. They really are good. I mean, to some extent, sometimes I'm tempted just to get those. I mean, the pipe is still going to be handmade, and you're just bypassing the drill. You know, if you get a decent drill, okay, you can't say you made it 100%. Fair enough. But bottom line, if the drill's good, the drill's good. Anyway, right. Sorry about the noise, but if I don't do that, it gets out of hand. I'm not a clean freak, but that's one thing. Since I've started out here, I've realised that I've just got to do that all the time. Okay. All right. So, essentially, let me just zoom out a bit. So what we're looking at is. So essentially we're going to be putting in the stem somewhere around there, and see, when you do the traditional bridge pipes, the blocks are actually got a much wider angle. Okay, so this you'd often get maybe not a full 180, but you'd get, you know, possibly somewhere in between 90 and 180. Whereas this one is just a straight 90, so it's going to be a bit tight. I did do a little bit of sort of sketching on it the other day. You should listen to the gears going in my brain sometimes. See, if I was to make this have like a cutty style bowl, in other words, pointing away from the stem, then I could get more out of this. But if I wanted it to be straight, traditional, so essentially what you'll be left with is a bridge, sort of, let's say something like that, and you'd have your bowl there and like that. So your actual two holes will be quite close together. But if I was to go like that and like that, it would be aesthetically more pleasing when you're not smoking it, but when you're smoking it, it'd be a bit of a nightmare. I don't like those forward-facing bowls because of that, because I can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to burn the bowl, the rim, and that kind of thing. So I think I'm going to go for something in between. How many watts is the bandsaw? 1 second. See if I can get that information for you. It's 250. It's 250 watts. It's kind of one level above a hobby kind of thing. It's officially, it's like the first level of professional bandsaw for this company, for this particular make. And for what I do, it's absolutely fine. It's designed for much heavier use than this. The way it's lining up, I'm actually wasting space here, so it's just a question of whether I make this 9mm or not. Whether it's something which I'm going to make for myself or not. That's really the question. But I suppose it makes sense to make it 9mm, and then if somebody smokes it, doesn't smoke 9mm, they can put a reducer in. Just smoke it as it is. Just get the stems out, let's see what we've got. So I'm thinking something like this would go nicely. So that actually, I'd have to drill that to make that 9mm. Where is my... So it's 10.5, so I couldn't really make that 9mm anyway. Right, I need to put some power into this phone. Sorry guys, it's all a bit slow. That's better. I can see what you guys are saying now. I can see I'm going to need to get another cable here because I'm swapping cables to maintain battery life. Alright, we'll see how we go. Right. So I think that stem is looking good. Alright, we can make a final decision on the stem later, I don't want to keep you all. So, time to open up the drill box and pick out the right size Forstner bit. Alright, so we go 12mm, so the 9mm should fit in it really nicely. I could try 10mm at first, but I think it would be a struggle. This is really just to make a socket before you put in the mortise. Yeah, I just picked up this bit today because I knew I'd need it for that would be used for a nice big pipe. That's a big old Forstner bit, that. Sometimes when you buy the kits, it's cheaper than buying 2 or 3 individual ones. And depending on the size of pipes I might do in the future, it just made sense to me to buy a range. I'd only really need this kind of like a half a dozen, but all the suppliers that I went to didn't have them in stock. And to buy this set was an extra maybe £10, £15. It just made sense to do that. Guys, if I'm going to do a bridge, I'm looking at it, and I was originally going to face it off over here and then just do that, but then it wouldn't be a bridge pipe and I'd end up with this side face. So I've got to imagine it like that. So which means I've got to get a face essentially like that, really. Something along those lines. All right. It just means that we end up with quite a small bowl there. But that's all going to be sanded anyway, so I suppose that's about it. That's what we can get out of it. See you, Tim. Thanks. Sorry, it's a bit slow going, I'm afraid. It's just absolutely live, and I'm not that experienced, so it is a bit slow, I'm afraid. I mean, I could just record clips and do a recording later on, but I just figured I'd go live with it in the hope that maybe a pipe carver would come on and that you guys would enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to really find the best sort of happy medium for it all. So essentially what I'm going to be doing, I mean, that's going to be the nearest that I get, which is plenty. It's going to be, it should be fine with a bit of luck. Something like that. I'm not terribly excited with going down at an angle there. I've got to just actually make it meet it a bit better, but I don't really have a choice. If I'm going to go horizontal, I'm going to end up with a tiny bowl. Yeah, just being lazy and not taking my gloves off. Good one. Yeah, go for it. As I say, I know it's really slow going, so don't feel any obligation to hang around. I'm kind of leaving it on live because it doesn't harm me to do so. It's just sort of in the background, so there's no harm. But you know, duck in and out as you feel. Yes, Sam, very well observed. I was a ginger. There's a few ginger strands left. But I was kind of more blonde as I got older. As a kid, I was red. I was proper ginger as a kid. I should really go indoors and grab another charger myself. My battery levels are pretty low. In fact, I'm going to run and do that now. So please forgive me once again, because I don't want it conking out in the middle. Humble apologies, we're back. Well, I was as a kid I had a thick head of hair, but nowadays it's virtually non-existent, right on the top of my bonce. But decent beard makes up for it, I guess. Okay, we're good to go with power. Both devices are powered up. Okay, let's get cracking. Taking far too long. It's funny how when you're busy, you just don't need to smoke. I brought down a nice cigar to smoke, but you can't focus on too many things at once. But hot coffee is required. I have not waxed the rails. They do need it. I should really do that. They did send some with me. Maybe after this job I'll clean it down, take all the bits off and give it a waxing. I was wondering what that was for. Hi Andrew, how you doing? Right, next we're going to start with the forcing of it. I should get one of these self-locking chucks really. But there's a limit to how many new things I can buy. I just have to make do. I'm kind of going at the skin of my teeth there. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of mimicking what I've seen other people do. So I hope that some of it will make sense. So there's quite a bit of a, I don't know if you can see this. The difference between there and there on that end of the briar is quite a lot. There's probably about, maybe 7 or 8 mil, almost half an inch discrepancy there. There's a bit of a dip in the briar, which actually will look interesting once it's finished, but Right, so the question is how deep do we go with this? With this section, I'm just really going to go in just to get a flat surface. That's all I'm really wanting to do at the moment, nothing more than that. And then I'll be drilling to create the mortise, and then drilling to create the draft. All right, you know, I'm one of the things I do is check and check again. I don't know what else I need to check. I've checked whatever I can think of, so we're going to go. Just going to get my mask on. Safety first. I'm such a rookie that I just don't know what I might not be doing and what danger I might be putting myself into. So I mean, it should all be plain sailing, but you know, I just don't like taking a chance until I've got some experience under my belt. Right, why haven't we got power? I suppose it helps if you turn it on. We'll turn that one off. So if you can see that, the idea is just to get a good flat surface to work from. I think we'll take it in a little bit more, just a fraction more. I think that's fine. All right, draft hole. Let's go. This one, it's either 3 or 4 mil. Can't remember. I think it may be 4. I'm not sure. Whoa, smoky. I'm just gonna let it cool down a bit. Well, the draft hole is pre-carbonized. Right, that should be good. We'll find out soon enough. That's a good one, Dunblane. I haven't heard that one, but the principle of it, absolutely. I'm all about that because I'm a novice. I've noticed that, Jordan, and I have. I'm a very good mimicker. You know, I might not be skilled, but I can mimic other people. And when I watch people online, what I do see is them drawing it in and out to remove the briar that's already come off. So that's what I do. Perhaps I should do it more often. Well, I do want to maybe just get a little brush so that I can just brush it off, because sometimes I've got the mask on, so I can't blow, and it's just I forget. So just a little brush, which I do have one. I'll just have to pick one up from the other room at some point. Right. I'm just trying to think, is there any other reason? Yes, of course, I need to drill the mortise before I move this, before I move the block. So the mortise needs to be drilled. See, I've got this is a 10.2 mil. A good few times, Sam. But I did have a problem last time. I don't remember what it was. No, these drill bits aren't wide enough. Okay, we'll carry on, because it was okay at the end last time, I think. Right, so we need to do that. Right, how far are we going in? So the 9 mil bit. I might actually just stick with this one and not make it 9 mil. And we'll see from there. So we said this is 10.8 at the, well, actually it's like it's got a tapered tenon there. So it's basically like an army mount. We could make this into something like that. 10.4. I think I should go for a standard mount, but I do like the way this one looks. Maybe I'll just go for a basic one. So we've got that one there, which is quite nice, this tapered look to it. and this one, high hi-hat, and that one is a bit plainer looking. But this one, I suppose I can cut that with a tenon cutter. No reason why not, actually. So we could do that. Yep, I think we'll do that. Type some pictures. See you, Jordan. Thanks for joining. Sam. Oh, a bit of dust in my eye. Okay, I think I'm good to take this block and reposition it. Let's hope so. Stars crossed, as they say. Here's hoping. If I really got in a bind and I had to get it back on, I could. Won't be absolutely precise, but I have had to do that before with the pipe that I did last time on the lathe. I converted it from a regular pipe to a 9mm pipe, and I managed it okay. But it's not an ideal thing. It's not something you want to be doing really. By marking up the centers here, it's somewhat easier to get it back on track. I haven't measured out the center line. 1 second. So this is going to be a 20mm bowl. So I try to remember to zoom in and out so you get the best view, but forgive me if I don't always get it right. You can always remind me. Okay. It's a little bit more fragile there. It's not holding that much of the briar now, so I've got to really tighten it well. Okay. So I've got these one of these spoon bits which I got from Vermont Freehand. I was thinking whether this time to use one of the standard type bits. If I can lay my hands on it. Yeah. Now I'm not sure if perhaps some of you guys have got some experience with this. So whether I've got this style of bit, so it actually gives a nice little sort of pointy sort of end. I don't know if putting them side by side, if one's going to give a better shape. They're actually really similar, but that gives a nicer rounder finish to it, so I'm going to go with that. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to do it shorter this time, and I can always just keep going if I haven't hit the hole. Okay, let's get this hole drilled. And let's get the mask back on. Just move it to the side so you might get a better view. I'll try to keep my hand out of the way so you can see what's going on. Well, this tends to work loose a little bit. So. Trying to prevent the bit from getting too hot, which I did have a problem with last time. Probably taking it too slow, but it shouldn't take that long to drill a hole. But what the hell? I've got, I don't just. It's maybe the second or third block that I'm drilling from scratch. So. we're very close. So we're taking a softly approach here. Look at that. We've definitely hit there because the thing is blowing through. So another look. That looks pretty darn good. See if I can get you in to see it. Hang on. There it is. You see the drill on the right hand side there? Right at the bottom? Considering that I'm coming in at an angle, I'm very happy with that. I must say that the drills have worked out pretty well so far on the pipes that I've done. Okay, so I think I can take that out now. We've got to start thinking about the stem, and then we've got to think about sanding. Maybe I'll just put some sandpaper in there before I take it out. Hey PA, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Ah, silly boy. Not being careful. Excuse me. Okay, I think we're good to go in that respect. Where is the other drill bit? Anybody see what I did with the draft hole drill bit? Where I put it down? I do find a lot of times when I'm hoovering up the workbench, I hoover up bits and bobs that I leave lying around. So I've got to just make sure that. Here it is. There it is. I do need to get some really small files. I don't know if such things exist. And the smallest ones that I could find are these, which are pretty small. I don't know if that one, it might actually go in there, you know. But I don't want to enlarge. Yeah, it's actually perfect. Daniel is in the house. Okay. Right, I think the drilling is done. And we've got to start thinking about the stem, and then we'll move on to shaping. Key, where are you? Key. See you, Sam. Alright, so there we have the mortise, and there we have the drill. Bang on. Very happy with that. Oh no, that's no good. See, Smokes? Sorry about that. I'm really absolutely useless when it comes to stems and tenons and stuff like that. I'm really, it's a big learning curve for me. And snapping a shank is obviously not ideal. Just going to move you guys for a second. What have I done with my tenon tool? Here we go. Make sure I've got nothing left on the table before I hoover it. that's as good as I can get it. You know, I've struggled with this in the past, but that's a tip that I got from Drop Bear Woodworks, is to use the live center. And I haven't got a specialised thing to grip these stems, so it's something I need to develop. But that's as good as it's going to get, I think. I do not like this tool. I do not like it one little bit. Thanks, Mario. Thanks for joining. All being well, we'll get that done tomorrow. I'm looking forward to being there a little bit earlier, so I can spend some time there. See, the difficulty with this is that you can't measure this adjustment. You've just got to do it hair breadth by hair breadth. You go a drop over, you've lost that. You've got to start all over again. You know, your mortise is drilled. You can't do anything about that. You drill that just a bit a hair breadth, a nano breadth too narrow, and you're done. So that's a pain in the neck. So the first thing I need to do is drill a hole that will allow it through. Where are we? Killer. Sorry, mate, I can't read Italian. Non rido italiano. I know that's a bit of a cliched accent, but I can't read Italian. Yeah, I'm just doing that now, Sea Smoke. Oh, that's okay. You have a chat, enjoy yourselves, and knock yourselves out. That's what it's all about. It's a virtual meetup. Don't mind me. I'm just going to carry on in any event. So. Yeah, I don't know what bite marks I'm going to have in there, which I'll have to smooth out afterwards. I just hope it's not in a crucial spot, but I can only hope for the best. There's nothing I can do about that. Don't you just love the smell of drilling? This stuff is the most disgusting smell in the world. Right, I think we're good to go there. Peace, Pac-Man. How you doing? Cheers, Jeff. Thanks for joining. Try and get this stem cut. I'm going to have a break soon because the kids will be home from school, and we'll carry this on later on tonight. But we'll see if we can get this done. To make a start on it anyway, because it's a fairly slow process. So the first thing I'm doing, I'm going to move you to the other side. The first thing I need to do at the moment you should be able to see it just about. So what we want to do is this little bit on the end of that there, I've just got to adjust it like a hair's breadth, literally just to touch it, so that we can try and get it into the mortise. Let's see first of all how far off we are. So I don't think we're really far. I mean, I could really even just sand it, but I'm going to take the slightest, the merest whisper of it off. And it's just a fiddly process. This this grub screw is not ideal. Truth is, it could have adjusted it with, put some kind of wing nut system on it, because these will eventually wear out. Ooh, sorry to hear that, Peace Pikeman. Root canal is not fun. Not fun for anybody. The important thing is when you're adjusting these is to hold it up with your thumb and tighten it like that, so that you don't sort of tighten it and then it does that. So you've got to hold it in its extreme and then tighten it. And it actually works in the opposite direction. It works anti-intuitively. So I'm not even sure that I'm going to be taking anything off here in the first instance. But I'm just not taking any risks. I'll tighten that up. No, so that goes straight over the top. In actual fact, I need to drill that more. Why isn't that going? Am I doing something wrong here? Why isn't that going further? It's drilled further down with a drill bit to make it wider. Oh, it is actually doing that. I need to drill it further. Okay, fair enough. What you say so. What's that, Dumbling? What's almost the same process? We're virtually there. Just going to take it down another fraction, literally a fraction this time. Almost imperceptible, the difference there, hopefully. Okay. Could have even done with not doing that last time. Okay. Let's hope it hasn't been too much of a biter on the bit area. There's no measurements at all on this tool, unfortunately. You just got to go by touch, and it's a pain in the neck. Right, the teeth marks are fine. Those will come out fine. So this is the way it is at the moment. So that will bend that a little bit. And that's the way. I think we'll leave that here for now. I'm going to go indoors for some supper, and we'll catch you all later. Thanks very much, everybody. Anybody who stayed with it all the way through, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's a bit tedious and a bit boring to watch me doing it, but I'll catch you later, probably in maybe an hour or two, something like that.